and welcome back to my channel. Before we jump into my series of videos, I'd like to run the same intro that I'm going to run in every video that I do this week. If you are one of the people that put trans rights or human rights all up and down my YouTube, thank you. If you came from TikTok and you followed that video from TikTok and you listened and you said, hey, they're being gross and ugh, the super straights are being gross, thank you. Please continue. If you want to catch my attention, nothing will catch it faster than saying trans rights are human rights and Black Lives Matter all up and down my page. I will love you eternally for it. So if that's you, I heart you. Everything about you, I heart. All right, so now let's jump into our first video. A teacher in North Little Rock, Arkansas, has been suspended for making a young Black student of the age of 5 dig out his own waste with his hands. How many times am I going to have to make a video on how Black children are being mistreated in schools? How many times am I going to have to remind people that they are children that have done nothing? This child, quote unquote, put too much toilet paper into the toilet. Okay, get a plunger. Call the janitor, get a plunger. That's what they're paid for. Their entire job is to fix messes like that. Your job as a teacher is to educate your student. If you are incapable of educating your student without having racial bias, without being abnormally cruel, you shouldn't be a teacher. You shouldn't even be a janitor at that school, even though making you have to do what you did to that child seems about fair to me. I'm just saying. I can't find the teacher's name. If I did, I would blast it. I would blast it everywhere. So if you have that teacher's name, by all means, put it down in the comment section and I will pin it so that that can be seen and we all know who the teacher is. I read like half a dozen news articles and none of them seem to mention the teacher's name, which infuriates me because front and center should be the teacher's name. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'd blast it across the top of this if I could, because teachers that mistreat their students are literally some of the most vile people on the planet. Their job and their only job is to educate and protect those kids. And she failed. She tortured a child, treated a child inhumanely, and she's in charge of other children. She's just been suspended. No, she needs to be fired. We already have a problem with the prison or the school to prison pipeline in this country that we are trying to dismantle and fix. We don't need teachers who take that a step and beyond. We don't need teachers who do the abnormally large punishments on Black students that they wouldn't do on white students, which studies have shown is all over the place. But this was a step and above even that, which is so mind-bogglingly innocent because it's a 5-year-old child. Do you know how little 5-year-olds are? And how sweet and innocent and kind of wonderful they are? They're literally like 5 is one of my favorite ages because they're just really developing into who they are, but they still have this innocence and they still respect adults and they're learning things and they're like watching their little brain. So it infuriates because that's going to be permanently imprinted on this child. And I just... They had one job, and she failed. She let her implicit bias, her racism, enact a punishment on a child that is inhumane, cruel, and frankly, incredibly unsanitary. We have janitors. This is not okay. She should absolutely 100% be fired. Like, I don't know where else to go with this other than the fact that it is wrong on so many levels and I shouldn't have to keep making videos about schools that allow this behavior. I just made a video last week about a Texas school that allowed children to be called racial slurs. America, do better. Do the bare freaking minimum and treat everyone equally. Is it that hard to not be literally disgusting and inhumane? Is it that hard? No, it's not. So here's an idea. Don't do it. Stop. We need to work on that prison to school pipeline. We need to not have a little Black boy at the age of 5 digging his own human waste out of a toilet. Like, I don't know on what planet that is acceptable to any person. And if you find that acceptable, don't ever be a teacher. You know what? Just go and don't exist with other people. Be a hobbit. Because if you think that's acceptable in civilized society, you don't belong in civilized society. Go be a hobbit somewhere. Because this is terrible. This is disgusting. We all know it was racially motivated, and it infuriates me. All right, guys. I will see y'all later.